The thing is, at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter what you thought about Penn State. If you thought they were a legitimate top 10 team or not, they were undefeated coming into this game. I think they had the number 5 run defense, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a game that a lot of just the experts and just people in general were looking at, like with the spotlight, right? It's this game because you've got Michigan, who's number 5, I believe, and Penn State is 10, and then you've got the Alabama game where they're 3 against 8, something like that. But I mean, this wasn't even a game, and honestly, the crazy part is like you said, the score wasn't indicative because, and I had texted you this, and I tweeted it as well. It's just the red zone stuff. I'm like, when the score was 13-0, I had sent you a text. The score should be 21-0 because even that first drive, I mean, Michigan's offense just moved the ball down the field with zero resistance, and you ended up with 3. And that was, I looked at that and it's like, man, you got to cash those. And then the second, time it happened, it's just the same thing. Like Michigan or Penn State had no answers for that offensive line. They moved the D linemen out of the way. They moved linebackers out of the way. They moved the corners and safeties out of the way sometimes. I mean, it was an impressive win, and it was for two teams that were as even closely ranked as they were. The difference in just skill and play couldn't be further apart. I mean, I look at this game and I feel like Michigan played better against Penn State than they did some of those out of conference teams. I mean, it just it was a consistent just moving the ball. Blake Corum, I think, went for like 166. Like it just the run game was unreal. I think they ended up over 400 yards. It was just it was pure domination. It was impressive, and like I said, it really doesn't matter what you thought about Penn State. If you didn't think they were, a top 10 team, doesn't really matter because guess what? That's where they were ranked. They were undefeated to this point. So yeah, I mean, Michigan. You look at this being essentially one of the 2 games on their schedule, and you come out and throttle a team 41-17. Like that's impressive. That's really impressive. And that's something that's tough to do at the end of the day. It's really tough to do. Let me hop. Kellen Sandifer. Hold on one sec. Kellen Sandifer, thanks for the super chat. Says O-line is all time right now. Play action is needed. I mean, it's hard to argue. I don't know what Blake's per carry average was, but I mean, what 28 for 166, something like that was his. I mean, when the guy's getting 6 yards a pop, I mean, it's hard to battle.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, they do mix and play action. I think if I was reword what Kellen said is that if there's anything that could be, I won't say critique, but fine-tuned more, it's JJ's efficiency with selling the play actions a little bit more, his decision-making when he has to play action, when to run, and when not to. And that is something, look, we talked about this, right, when he took over. He's young. And the more you play him, the longer he continues to start, along this maturation process, he's going to make mistakes. That's part of growing and learning. And when they have their play action, get better with his decision making, but also when the run RPOs, he has to get better as well. When to keep it, when to let it go. I thought today was a learning period where I think it was 34-17, that last drive when they went up 41-17, and Penn State was just selling out on a run, right? It was the first play, they're in the spread. JJ, gives it to Wilder to check with JJ. They just went all out. And the very next play, JJ tucks it, keeps it, and gains like 15 or 17 yards, right? That's learning and keeping their defense honest and taking what they give you. So it's thanks, Andre. It's those that's part of the learning process for him. And man, if he can get more efficient with that, the different types of weapons this offensive has, they're literally the most balanced offense in the country. If they continue to get better with that, there's nothing you can do. Because the way this offensive line blocks you in the run game, they gas you. They absolutely gas you. So if you decide to sell out and JJ starts pulling those a little bit more and taking off, man, and then don't make the mistake of not having safety help behind, and he gets better with his touch passes down the field, you're dead. You're absolutely dead. So I mean, I would fine tune that and say just get more efficient with the play action games. But they definitely do call play actions.